Jen from Fabulous Paper Emporium. Welcome back after our long weekend and turkey coma. I think I'm back to business, back to card making business. And so hopefully everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And I'm looking forward to some of the new things that we've got planned. One of the reasons why there was really no video on Monday is because we are working on a very exciting project. So I'll have some news probably towards the end of this weekend type thing. And I'm really excited to share that. So, but in the meantime, I didn't feel like I wanted to leave and have no videos, nothing to share. So I did want to come up with a quick little card that is easily put together. And I was using this 6x8 paper pad from Simple Stories, the Simple Vintage Farmhouse Gardens. I love this paper, but I feel like I say that about a lot of the papers. It's just, it's got that really cool vintage feel with just the colors and the patterns, that kind of thing. So this is a bit, I've already, used some of this. So this is a bit of what they have. But as opposed to doing 6x6, they actually do these 6x8 paper pads, which I have found actually comes in handy. Just having that extra little 2 inches, you end up with, especially if your card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, which is pretty typical, then you end up being able to use a little bit more. So I found that with this. So I was really, really happy about that. And I'll be bringing out some ephemera a little bit later and to decorate. There's a ton of pieces in this, the bits and pieces, which coordinates with the paper. And so you'll find some of the cutouts are like the little animals, that kind of thing. It's so well done. And there's 63 pieces. I mean, scrapbooks, again, cards, scrapbooks, albums, folios, you name it, you can decorate it with that. So it's just, it's kind of a no-brainer. So anyway, so the card that we are doing today, I'm going to call it a flip card because I don't really know what it's called. And I did kind of change it up a little bit. So the first one that I had seen was basically a postcard style, meaning the back is just flat. It doesn't open at the back. It flips open here. So I love this card. Pretty simple, easy to do. You can probably do it with some leftovers if you have any. And then I also put together this card, which is like a card on a card. So this just gives you extra space because let's face it, this doesn't give you a whole lot of space. You can absolutely modify this, and it's such a simple card. It's really simple to modify it. So if you did want this piece to be a little bit larger, I cut this one a little bit larger. So if you did have a really nice pattern that you wanted to display, then you could certainly do that. And you can even go a little bit wider if you wanted to. It just depends on you. That's all it is. So I'm going to go through the sizes really quickly and explain, the differences between obviously this card, which is a card on a card, and then this particular one. So I'll give you all the measurements for everything, and then we'll put together one final card, which will be similar to this style. But I just wanted to show you some of the papers that were in this particular card pack, or not card pack, paper pack, sorry. And how absolutely lovely they are. I can't get over it. And see, because I had a little bit left over of this gingham that we used in the background, and it really, it's what, maybe a half inch, give or take, maybe 3/4. Anyways, I didn't want to throw it away because I don't believe in throwing away beautiful paper. So I, on this card, obviously went in the vertical direction, and on this card did a horizontal bit. I did cut off a little bit, but that's just going to go in my extras bag. Excuse me, I've got something stuck in my throat. So I'm going to go through the card, the pieces to make the card, and then we'll get going. So this particular base, because it's the folded, it's like a card base. This one is cut at 11 by 4 1/4. If you wanted the postcard version, you just stop at 5 1/2. So that would just be 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And that's pretty simple to do. You're going to score that at the halfway mark if you are making the card base. So that would be 5 1/2. This top part, which makes the flip card, I guess, this one is cut at 8 1/2 by 2 3/4. And this is just scored in the middle, and that would be 4 1/4. And if you wanted to make this wider, that's all you have to do is just add a little bit until you're really happy. And you could really go probably this. So this is 5 1/2. I mean, you could, if you wanted to, come right here, and then it would be a card, like a real serious card on a card. This one is just like a mini card on a card. It's a piggyback, although it's not on the back. Anyways, never mind. So we've got these two pieces, and then we've got our white pieces. So this big white piece is not necessarily, it's not, my words today, not always necessary when you're doing the postcard version, although you could easily put it on the back, and that gives you obviously a ton more space to write a message, stamp, that kind of thing. But it is something that would obviously be required for the card base. And then what we have, oh, I don't want to put that away. And then we have this card piece, which goes on the inside. And because I cut my little flip card a little bit wider, you're just going to take, if it is wider than what you're doing, then you're just going to take a 1/4 inch off the width. So for the regular cards that I've done here, both of the flip cards are the same. And that would be, so the white card is 2 1/2 by 4. If you're doing it wider, like I said, this one is 3 inches. So I cut my white piece at 2 3/4. And then for the designer paper, it's going to mirror basically those white pieces. So these two pieces are cut exactly the same. So depending on what your width is going to reflect on the designer paper as well as the white paper. And so for this particular one, I did 2 3/4 by 4. And for these other ones, I had done these ones at 2 1/2 by 4. And again, this larger piece is always going to be 5 1/4 by 4. And that doesn't matter whether you're doing the card base or the postcard base. It doesn't matter. It's always going to be the same. And then, like I said, this was like a little remnant that I had off of the edge here, and I didn't want to throw it away, but I haven't really decided what to do with it for this particular card. So we're going to start putting things together, and I think as I put things together, we will figure out what it is that we are going to be doing with that extra little gingham piece. And then we're going to break out the ephemera, because I don't think I really have done that a whole lot in my videos, but the ephemera, it's obviously designed to go with the paper, and just about every paper pack comes with ephemera. And so it really is helpful for kind of the spaces where you don't want to leave it blank, or, you know, in the case like this where you have potentially 2 inserts to kind of fill, then you have your ephemera that you can use to decorate. And it does work really well, because again, it goes so well with the paper. That's what it's designed to do. Okay, so now I'm going to glue down this bit. which is going to be on our top of our base. And again, this is just the card base. So we'll have the white to go on the inside as well. If you feel like you don't like covering all of this gorgeous paper and you are going to make this a little bit wider, then certainly measure out how much you are going to have on each side. And it's totally fine to cut strips and save yourself all of this beautiful card for potentially another card or even 2 cards. Who knows? I know, sorry, it's heart-wrenching to get, to give up all of this beautiful cardstock. So, or I should say designer paper. So here we go. Alrighty. Okay, so you just want to make sure that that's well adhered, especially at the top, but that you're also not gluing together your card piece. And like, it's really simple. The card itself is very simple, but it's not basic. It still has a bit of that wow factor. It's not your, a folded piece of paper. But it does also allow you to have a little bit of fun with it. Like if you want to have a bigger flip card to go with it, then make a little bit bigger. It allows you a lot of flexibility without the headache of having to reformat and remeasure how that's going to impact your card. So this really won't change much when it comes to, creating a different variety of card. It just is a matter of as soon as you change the width for the gray piece for the flip card, you just have to be mindful to change the width for the inside piece as well as the decorated piece on the top. So I'm still not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I did want to show you these bits and pieces. Now I've used some on other projects, but even still, like, look at all these beautiful pieces, and it tells you on the back. I'm going to take it out of the paper, or out of the cellophane, so I'm not blinding people. But those are all the pieces that it comes with. Really substantial is, I think, the word. Some of them are bigger, and you could certainly put that on there if you wanted to. That would work well. There's some larger pieces. I think that doesn't quite go because it's huge. Oh, see, that would be cute too. If you're making a wider one, you could easily stick that on there. But there's a ton of like little hearts. I think not some of the nicer ones, but I have used quite a few of the pieces. But like this gathered together could go nicely on here. Actually, I think I'm going to grab some of the squares, and I'm just going to pop that up on some of these foam squares. Whoops. For a second there, I thought I just actually put it on the front of the flip card, which, if it's got this, oh my goodness. I swear, I get these all over the place every time I fiddle with them. I feel like they're superconductors of static electricity gathered together. I love that. And I know that there's a few that are like that within the collection. There's Home Garden, which could easily go. Not sure what other piece. Heart and Home is a pretty one. I think that actually goes really nicely on that one. So I am going to put that up on some of the foam squares, which just add a little bit of dimension to an otherwise pretty flat card. So with relatively little effort, so long as you can get these things from sticking to you after you let them go. So I think I'm going to put that one right about here. And I don't have an idea for the top one. I could just use, oh, this homegrown one. Although that's pretty thin, I don't think, ooh, that will fit. It fits, it barely fits. So I got to be careful with my placement. The other ones I can be a little bit more, you know, not as precise, I guess would be the term for that. So here we go. Got our last little bits. Oh my gosh. Come on. Okay. And I'm going to put this right at the bottom here. And there we have it. So we've got 3 cards, 2 different types, or 3 if you count the fact that I made that a little bit wider. But again, something that you can easily modify. So that is it for today. I apologize that it's such a quick video, but like I said, we are working on something for the next major holiday for Christmas, and hopefully we'll have further details for you by the end of the week. So thanks again for joining me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, but even better yet, give me a big old thumbs up. Really would appreciate that. You have no idea. And if you make this card, feel free, go to our Facebook page, find me on Instagram. It's always Fabulous Paper Emporium. So, and share what you're making, whether it's with this paper collection or another one. I'm really interested in how people take the tutorials and make it their own. So I would be really interested in seeing that. But otherwise, I hope everyone is staying safe and staying well, and I look forward to speaking with you or seeing you virtually again. Thanks a lot. Have a great week, everyone. Bye.